Earth's history lies in the rock preserves. The preserves carry the mark of plant or animal evolution through time. Paleoscientists study these preserves, linking our past and future. To understand the diversity of these rocks, there is no better place to visit than the only exclusive Paleoscience Institute in India, the Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleosciences. BSIP was established in 1946 for paleobotany, the branch of botany which traces the evolutionary history of plants. What began only as a progression of the then Paleobotanical Society has become the flag bearer of Indian paleontological research.
Right from the birth of the earth, the early time of earth basically, how the life forms have changed, how many mass extinctions have undergone, how many species to a great extent have flourished, how many have got extinct, how the climate has changed, what different elements of the climate have impacted these very living species. So understanding of this is the prime motto of this particular institute.
Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleosciences is a premier institute of Department of Science and Technology. And this institute is dedicated to carry out research in past life, past climate and past ecology, and from 3.2 billion years up to recent past. So institute scientists, they are covering all the areas right from Central Ganga Plains, and apart from that we are also working in Himalayas. Not only in India, we are also working in areas in polar regions also, in both the Arctic and Antarctic regions and Southern Ocean.
The institute was the dream child of the father of Indian dendrology, Professor Birbal Sahni. Throughout his lifetime, the professor continued his dedicated paleobotanical encounters with the plants. Birbal Sahni became the first executing director when the institute's initial office was formed at the Department of Botany in the Lucknow University.
BSIP was actually a very novel and very important step in the history of science in India in the 1950s. It was important science, but it was a science that actually was practiced by very few people. And my uncle Birbal Sahni was one of the few that was actually a leading light in the field. And so if you look at it in a global perspective, it was a very special step that you had in this country, largely because of his efforts.
Soon after the institute's foundation stone was set in 1949, Professor Sahni passed away. He could not live long to see his dreams come true. His wife and companion in his lifelong affair with botany, Mrs. Savitri Sahni, took up the responsibility. She carried forward the professor's dream, which is still being upheld as the institute celebrates its Platinum Jubilee year.
Normally people see a dream and there are few who could realize it. If I say about the Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleosciences, it is a saga of a Sahni couple. Birbal Sahni saw the dream. He could not materialize it or see coming up, but it was his better half who realized this dream in eternity and in fulfillment of the dream of her husband.
Mrs. Sahni made the dream of her husband a living reality. The institute has now evolved into the largest center of independent autonomous research organization.
Institute has completed 75 years, and initially institute was carrying out paleobotanical studies, mostly the study of fossil plants, the morphological details and all that. And from that, institute evolved from paleobotany to paleosciences.
The institute had been under the careful eye of many directors throughout the decades, each of whom brought their own shades to it. under the leadership of Dr. K.R. Soranke. The main focus of the institute was on paleobotany research, with an emphasis on forest and vegetation reconstruction in deep time scales.
The first director, who was a worthy disciple of Birbal Sahni, he started a new thing in the institution that is known as a carbon dating, because that is one of the important aspects, that how we can calibrate the age of fossils which we are finding here.
Dr. M.N. Bose took the reins of the institute with his primary focus on systematic identification of fossils in the Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic eras. He also incorporated many new sophisticated instruments like the SEM. Under Dr. B.S. Venkatachala, major breakthrough research work relevant to the coal industry was carried out. The major success in the coal department continued when BSIP's focus shifted to coal petrology. Under the leadership of Dr. R.S. Tiwari, the scientists at the time dedicated themselves to apply the paleobotanical knowledge towards the hydrocarbon industry. Until this period, BSIP was focused only on paleobotany. Now, under Professor A.K. Sinha's leadership, the institute, along with paleobotany, was also introduced to geology and polar research. Himalayan geology was the core of this research. The research focused on the origin of the Himalayan ranges, its formation and contribution to the birth of the Indian subcontinent. When the Indian plate collided with the Eurasian plate, the Himalayas were born. The Himalayas provide an excellent laboratory to understand thrust and fold belt tectonic, mountain-climate interaction, glaciers, glacial landscape, mountain geomorphology, river systems, lakes, meadows with diverse herbaceous ground vegetation, paleoclimate and dendroclimatology. This region offers troves of valuable data on the Indian monsoon evolution, extreme events, and natural hazards like landslides and earthquakes. The institute is also the custodian of the Meghalayan age stratotype, the latest stage in Earth's 4.54 billion-year history. After this period, under Dr. Naresh Chandra Mehrotra, the institute acted as research resources of applied micropaleontology for the oil industry. The next 5 years proved to be the most evolving times for BSIP. Professor Sunil Bajpai made the founder's dream of an interdisciplinary institute come true. The institute, along with the paleobotanical researchers, transformed itself into a multidisciplinary research organization and was aptly renamed as the Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleosciences. Fossils bear the evidence of what it means to be human. With continuous innovations in technology, the study of fossils is becoming multidisciplinary. Every aspect of science comes together to read the past. Currently at the institute, scientists use conventional cutting-edge technologies, 3D modeling and virtual reconstruction all under one roof. The scientists at BSIP devote their time to explore human evolution in an interactive timeline with the other living organisms of the time. They trace our genes to study how closely we are related to one another. Keeping the ideals of the founder, the institute keeps on evolving. It focuses on understanding human genealogy, by implementing all the technological advancements.
India is very rich in different types of vegetation, and we have a mosaic of vegetation right from deserts up till the evergreen vegetation, and a lot of diversity is also present in the Indian subcontinent. But from where these plants came, this is a big question that we answer in BSIP with the help of palynology.
The Institute opened up various departments to incorporate new technologies of geochronology, geochemistry, paleomagnetism, microimaging, and ancient and modern DNA. These techniques help the scientists get faster and more specific results. These technological advances give the scientists a surprising level of detail, which were not available previously. BSIP scientists are working in a wide array of proxies, archives covering the studies from Precambrian to Quaternary. It has ongoing research projects in nearly all the physiographic regions of India. Be it the mighty Himalaya, the Indo-Gangetic Plains, the Northeast region, the Thar, core monsoon zone of central India, peninsular India, and coastal regions, as well as the Southern Ocean and polar regions too. The comprehensive studies from the different settlement sites of the Ganga plain show the cultural succession that the inhabitants adopted in time and space. The history of domestication of rice and other food plants and fauna has become clearer. The sediments of this foreland has record of more than 1,000-year history of climate and tectonics. It also bears the preserves of the ancient human occupation dating back to 40,000 years.
Over the years, we realized that central Ganga plain, that is the eastern part of UP to western part of UP and central India, they are very important region because these areas, they are having a lot of archaeological sites there. And it becomes really important to understand that how these the ancient civilization they were coping up with the changing climatic condition. What were the agricultural practices were taking place, and the most important thing is that we have found the earliest record of domestication of rice from this particular area.
The Institute not only focuses on its autonomous research projects, but also stands afront during national crises. Recently, amidst the corona pandemic, BSIP effectively opened up a COVID testing laboratory. The pandemic taught us how fleeting life can be. It is crucial to understand the changing climates and our historical evolution to survive through such catastrophic times. The new advances in DNA research is also helping the scientists tackle climate change and resolve past mysteries. While DNA fingerprinting traces our origin, astrobiological research focuses on understanding the geological processes and early life on other planets.
Astrobiology is a very upcoming branch and it's very important for the country. We have in Birbal Sahni Institute, we have a dedicated team of scientists who are working on early life. They are trying to trace evolution, they are trying to trace how life evolved on Earth from 3.2 billion year rock records.
India has several analogous sites for Mars, such as the deserts of Ladakh, the Lunar Crater, the Run of Kutch, and Meghalaya Caves. These diverse sites provide a valuable framework for Mars-relevant astrobiological research. Fossils need to be preserved for future generations to learn and continue the research work. Beyond collecting the data itself, a big challenge is to store and maintain the large amounts of data now being generated by paleontologists. The Paleotropical Research Center is BSIP's aspiration to store information of the tropical regions of the world and provide a robust and reliable data bank for the future scientists. BSIP works hand in hand with the government to carry out their research and national programs and actively participates in the national missions. Under the government's Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, the institute offers consultancy to coal and oil companies across the nation. BSIP works hand in hand with the state governments in establishing fossil parks. These parks conserve and protect the fossils while at the same time draw mass awareness. A walk through the park takes the visitors back 1,000,000 years. The envisioned Natural History Museum will bridge the gap between society and scientists. This will inspire and ignite young minds towards invoking scientific curiosity. It can boom into a simultaneous research and educational site, drawing people from all sectors of life.
We have about so many thousands of both plant and animal fossils. It is in the repository of this institute. And we are trying to develop a natural history museum for the public, also for students and children. They can come and they can learn many things there.
One of the fundamental works that scientists have to do while carrying on their work is spreading awareness. Without mass awareness about fossils, it will be difficult to carry forward the Herculean task of conservation. The institute houses a large number of research scholars and also trains students from various universities at undergraduate and postgraduate levels. The institute will also be a part of the proposed National Research University. For the first time in India, students can pursue courses of paleosciences. This will only open up the possibilities of trained manpower for the need of academia and industry.
The number of scientists working in the institute are largely in the age group of 30 to 45. The expectations are that in near future, the institute outcome in terms of research will be very high. We generally say that number of publications, but quality publications in most reputed journals of the world, they have been publishing.
The scientists of the institute publish their research in the world's leading scientific journals as well as popular research articles. The institute also publishes an in-house journal of paleosciences, previously the Paleobotanist, since 1952, dispersing the knowledge of paleosciences globally. The present is only a connecting link, but without its assistance, research on the past cannot benefit the future. From research projects to technological advancements, the BSIP scientists are leaving no stone unturned for the paleoscience advancement in India.
I think the future is very bright for BSIP. The possibilities are endless and the potential is huge. I'm sure that with the kind of dedicated scientific, technical and administrative staff BSIP has, they'll be able to achieve this potential. BSIP will become a focal point and one of the most sought after places for research in paleosciences.
BSIP has a very talented and young research staff and very hard-working team of technicals and administrative people. And with that, I think they are going to take up a very diversifying fields of paleosciences.
This 75th anniversary celebrates BSIP's team spirit, the close-knit bond between its scientific, technical and administrative staff, its torchbearers and its scientific journey that not only marks the lineage of past successful studies, but also sets the ground for further breakthrough research.